Well, every week we come with a strategy guide to get you the best result of the season, and the good results keep on coming for our accounts and some of your accounts at home. And now we've got to do it all over again for the Abu Dhabi GP event. That's what we're at this week. Of course, you should know because you have already qualified, or today being Friday, it is the last day to qualify. So make sure to get through because this week features a really good boost, the Palm boost. So we need you to get some of that in your stock because it is a must-have boost for a lot of the tracks out there. Now, of course, we are going to be going everything, and it is all covered in this strategy guide. So you are in the absolute best place for your whole weekend's racing. Now, we are going to share some of our good results that we've seen prior to going into the guide. So congratulations to Born to Booze, and great name from following your videos, 2 P1 in Challenger and a P2 Contender last GP. So congratulations. We have also got then Super Baloo, little bit of more text, but thanks to your strategies, managed to get P1 Challenger and secured P2 the following week. Decided to take a gambling contender, lost a lot of coins, but boom, got a P1 contender. So let's go, learned it from the best, Super Blue, get in, great results in your weeks of racing. And finally, our third result of the week goes to Dave Morris. After 3 years of trying, finally reaching P1 champions, the hardest result on the game. So congratulations to Dave Morris, and hopefully you are going to go on to many more P1s as well. So we are going to get into this strategy guide. You know most of the information because you are qualifying for it currently, or if you haven't, you're already qualified. Now, of course, with the Abu Dhabi event, we have the following. You are qualified, and the sponsor task, remember, for the week is changing in champions. It will go to level 3s at the weekend, level 5s on Sunday if you're in champion, and challenger, contender, junior will all stay at their level 1 levels, so make sure to match the sponsor task. Of course, it is the Palm boost, which is a very good boost to get, so of course you want to make sure you get that boost. Now, without any legendary drivers permitted, we are going to be running through everything in terms of driver selection, car setups, your strategy on the track, tyres, DRS, where to push. We have got it all covered in this one video. Now, these are the circuits. We have got Abu Dhabi, Imola, we have got Sao Paulo, Las Vegas, Shanghai, Mexico, which is most likely going to be the fastest lap circuit of the weekend. We have got Singapore and Abu Dhabi. So they are our circuits that we have got to cover, all 8, with the only wet race being in Brazil. So in essence, what that means is we have 5 overtaking circuits, 3 race start circuits. So they are the driver stats, and the actual cars tracks stats, you're going to need 6 power unit setups, 1 speed and 1 cornering, and we will come on to that in our guide shortly. So we're going to head over to our strategy guide, and we're going to talk all things strategy, starting off with race number 1 and race number 8 because it is at the same circuit. We are heading to Abu Dhabi. Now, overtaking drivers are a must, and a power unit setup is what you need to apply. It's going to be a 2-stop in Junior, Challenger and Contender, and if you can get in Contender to the 80 tyre management, you can also do the 4 hard, 1-stop strategy that we see happen in Champions. Now, driver selection is key. You're going to be wanting overtaking drivers quite a lot, and we feature your Junior, Challenger, Contender and Champion drivers, which are best in overtaking, but remember to check the 10% stat boost. Now, above my head are some of the boosts with overtaking and power unit. We've got Unstoppable, Ghoul Fuel, Dragon, Rooster, Glitz. We've got Skull, Impact and Taurus. If you don't have any of these boosts, make sure to select an overtaking boost, and that will still give you some good speed around this circuit. In the middle is your track map. You've got the back straight for DRSs, and if you're not pushing in the blue sections, make sure to conserve so you can get power unit back on your car. Power unit being absolutely key. Now, when we talk setup, we are giving you our recommendations. The one thing that you need to take into account is the sponsor task. So change your driver selection or your car selection as required. But here is your power unit setup for Junior, and of course it includes Slick Shift. We have got your Challenger, setup for you. We then have your contender setup. And finally, we will have your champion setup. Nexus, obviously with the sponsor task, is in there. I like to use Flex as well because I like it better than Curler. So that is my race 1 Abu Dhabi run through for you. Now next up from that is the circuit of Imola. So we have Imola in the dry, and you're going to be requiring to use race start drivers here, but your power unit circuit means the same power unit setup. So 9 laps to come. A free soft is the best way to go around this circuit if you can get 55 tyre management, even all the way through to champions. But champions with 90 plus tyre management, you can pretty much get a 5 medium, 4 soft. But the 333 does give you a lot of pushing power. Now in Imola, you have got your driver selection. We have got the best race start drivers for Junior, Challenger, Contender and Champion. So you can see Bearman in the lower difficulties, Alonso's in the higher difficulties, but check your Max Verstappen as well. Now, race start and power unit, we have got Surf, Frost, Gladiator, Rooster and Instinct. If you don't have any of them, find yourself a race start boost. Now, track map, you've got the home straight for DRS. You want to be conserving on that straight if you do not use DRS, but attack down there if you do. Attack through the corners, and try and conserve in burst. You can see the small blue sections on the map. Try to conserve a little bit to try and gain some of that power unit back so that you can attack. Now at Imola, you need the same setup as you had in Abu Dhabi. So we've got Slick Shift for the sponsor task in Junior. We have got your Challenger setup for you the same. And it's going to be the same for your Contender setup and your Champion setup. But we will give you all so you are well aware of what you are running, especially if you are watching via the chapters and going through each race. Now with Imola done, we are going to move on to Brazil and Sao Paulo. So this is going to be a wet condition race. Very, very tough actually to overcome. So we have got overtaking drivers required now. So you need to go back to the same drivers as you had at Abu Dhabi, but you want to change your setup for the first time to a cornering setup. Now, Junior, Challenge and Contender will see a 2-stop strategy. But if you are in Contender and Champions and can get 75 tyre management, you want to be doing the 5-4, so the 1-stop, which is very, very beneficial. A lot of the AI, especially in Champion, do the 1-stop. Now, if we look at the drivers back to overtaking, again, Hamilton's in your Contender and Champions. You've got your Bearmans and Hajars in your Junior and Challenger. But again, make sure to go and take a look at Mr. Max Verstappen. Now the boosts, overtaking and cornering, we've got Cranberry, Glitz, Ode, Herald and Copper. All the boosts that are going to be usable for this circuit. If not, select an overtaking boost. That will be best. Now DRS can be used down the home straight, up the hill and down that straight. And then obviously from turns number 3 down to turn 4, you can use DRS there as well. Attack the corners, conserve where you're not attacking. And now with a setup change, we have your setup. So obviously Slick Shift again for the sponsor task. But of course we then have everything else normal because it's a driver sponsor task. So we've got your Challenger, we've got your Contender, and then we move to your Champion setup. But remember, with that Champion setup, you will need to use Max Verstappen. If you don't want to use Max Verstappen, you will need to use Nexus or Valkyrie to get the sponsor task. If you have it level, 3 and 5s, I think, over the weekend. So make sure to check that off. Now, with Brazil wet being complete, we move on to the second circuit, which is going to be a pain. So Brazil is already a pain. And then it's going to be Las Vegas. So we have overtaking drivers again, nice and easy. But this time you're going to change your cornering setup to a speed setup. Now 6 laps to come, it is going to be a 1-stop strategy with your recommended tyre managements. You can get away with softs at about 80, but I try and give you a little bit of pushing power in there. Now, driver lineup, again, overtaking drivers, your Hajars, your Bearmans, all the way up to your Russells, Hamiltons, and of course Max Verstappen with that 10% boost. Your boosts for overtaking and speed, there is a lot of them. You've got Unstoppable, Eternal Flame, Hex, Fireworks, Skull. You've also got Eclipse, Impact, Street Shark, Taurus and Warrior. But again, try and find yourself an overtaking boost if you don't have any of them. Now your track map in the middle, the home straight, the first straight and the last straight, any straight at Vegas is pretty much good for DRS. but it does give you the opportunity to conserve on the other two so that you can push and attack at the entry to the corners and out of the corners, because Vegas is a tricky track. You've got to be in it to win it, and hopefully that power unit saving is going to help you massively as well. So with that in mind, we're going to get your setup for speed on the go then. So slick shift again for junior for the sponsor task. We have got your challenger setup for speed. We then move over to your contender setup for speed. And then rounding off with the champion setup. You can obviously use exhale in contender, but I just prefer to use aero blade because it recovers quickly and it is more powerful on the DRS. So that is your Las Vegas speed and strategy review for that circuit. Now we move on to another power unit circuit up next. It's China in the dry. Overtaking and power unit back to the same as Abu Dhabi then for this race. 7 laps. It's a 2-stop in junior and challenger. It's a 1-stop in contender and champion with your recommended tyre managements. Now, overtaking drivers are going to be the same again. We will just quickly give you them. Hajar's, Behrmans in the lower series, Hamilton's, Russells in the higher series, and of course a Max Verstappen potential to be used as well. Now the same boosts as Abu Dhabi: Unstoppable, Ghoul Fuel, Dragon, Rooster, Glitz, Skull, Impact, Taurus. If not, find yourself an overtaking boost. Your DRS is best down the back straight. You want to be pushing to use the most of that DRS. If you're not using DRS at any of them 2 points, then it's a really crucial part to conserve to gain the power unit. That is absolutely key. You can see our blue for conserve, yellow for neutral engine, and red for attack. Now, your setup is the same as Abu Dhabi. It is your power unit setup. So we have your junior setup, we have your challenger setup, we move through to your contender setup, and finally, we move on to your champion setup. Of course, with Nexus for the sponsor task as well. So China done and dusted. That is race number 5. We then move on to what is considered the fastest lap circuit of the weekend. It is Mexico in the dry. So this is where we expect your fastest lap to be coming in. It's going to be close with Brazil, but because Brazil's wet, we expect this circuit to be the fastest. Now, in terms of overall 9 laps, it's going to be pretty much a 2-stop junior and challenger with a 1-stop in contender and champion, but you can actually go for a 2-stop across any one. You can go free soft, free soft, free soft. Even in contender and champion, it is still going to be really, really quick. So do check that one out. It is a very, very good strategy. Now, in terms of drivers, race start, it's the same that we had earlier on in Imola. So you've got your Behrmans in the lower division, junior and challenger. You've got your Alonso and Leclerc's in the contender and champion. And obviously Verstappen might come into it with his 10% stat boost. Your boosts, Surf, Frost, Gladiator, Rooster and Instinct all feature race start and power unit. But remember, you want to be considering a race start boost if you don't have any of them. Now, in terms of the circuit, for a fastest lap, of course, you want to be pushing for the whole lap without traffic. So most likely got to do that fastest lap early on in the opening first 2 or 3 laps. But in terms of your DRS and usage outside of fastest lap, it is the home straight for DRS. Of course, conserve down there when you don't have it, but you can also use it from turn 3 as well. It's a tricky little track and can depend a lot on the race start that you do get. Now, in terms of setup, it's the same as the other 6 circuits that are power unit over 5. It is going to be your power unit setup that is required here at Mexico. So we have your all setups from junior through to champion. Job done. And then there was one more circuit remaining, and it is quite a difficult circuit, even though it is a power unit track. Singapore in the dry. So back to race start drivers this time. Hutch are making you swap around a little bit over this weekend. And then a power unit setup. So actually it's the same as race number 6. So you shouldn't have to change anything for this one. It is 2 stops pretty much everywhere, apart from champion, where you can reach to the 1 stop if you have got 90 tyre management. Now your drivers are going to be the same as we just witnessed. It's Behrmans in the lower divisions. Alonso and Leclerc's in the higher divisions are going to be very good. Max Verstappen you need to be considering as well. The boosts are the same as before: Surf, Frost, Gladiator, Rooster and Instinct. And your track map, Home Straight, First Straight and the last Blue Straight, you can see all very powerful for DRS. It's pretty tricky to actually use it around here, but it's still worth taking. But again, conserve when you're not using it, because you've got to be attacking through the corners. And I would probably recommend that, even though we're not going to show it in the setup, you might want to take a little bit of qualifying at Singapore, because I am finding that is potentially a lot better to have for yourselves. So power unit setup again in Singapore. 6 times you have power unit tracks, 1 cornering, 1 speed. So you should be well equipped with the setups that you are going to be using. So that is your junior through to champions car strategy setup. There you go. Now, with that final race complete and covered off, we are then going to go and just round up quickly on this race. Now, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we of course give you our best advice. We give you the fastest setup that can be made possible. It is up to you if you then want to reduce your pace and add more qualifying. I can only cover off so much. I can't give you 3 or 4 setups for every single event and every difficulty. What you need to do is take a look at the event and think, okay, do I probably want to start further up the grid? If you do, add some more qualifying. But I am going to give you the fastest possible setups. Then it's up to you to add a little bit more qualifying. So if you know Singapore is a bit more harder to overtake, maybe take some qualifying. If you knew from the circuit point of view that Vegas was really hard to overtake, you could take some more qualifying, same as some of the other circuits like Brazil, but that is totally up to you. I can only advise so much, so give that a go. They are my recommended drivers and setups, of course with strategy, and hopefully we are going to help you get through this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, get a good result, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the F1 racing as well. The final race of the F1 season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Who wins the championship? If you've made it this far, let me know who you think is going to win it and why.